Here are the materials that are going to be needed to crochet the Christmas wreath. I have some ribbon here if you would like to add ribbon to your wreath. Make sure you have that on hand. Pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, a 4mm crochet hook, and yarn. I am using acrylic yarn. It's a medium 4 weight, and I love this yarn in color mid green. And then you will need a metal ring. The ring I'm using has a diameter of 3 inches. This ring I already had laying around in my craft room. I don't remember where I got it from, but you should be able to purchase these rings at any craft store. And it is okay if you have a ring that is slightly, smaller or larger than the 3-inch diameter, because this pattern can be adjusted. And as long as you're using multiples of 4, then you can adjust the count to cover the ring that you are using. So now we can go ahead and get started on crocheting the Christmas wreath. All right, now we're ready to get started on crocheting our Christmas wreath. Go ahead and take your crochet hook, insert it into the center of the ring from front to back. You're gonna go ahead and grab your yarn, and you're gonna hook that yarn just like that. And you're going to pull it through the center of the ring. And I'm just over here securing it with my fingers. All right, so we have that loop. The hook is still through the loop, and I'm using my middle finger and thumb to pinch that yarn to secure it. And then we're just gonna go ahead and yarn over. We're gonna hook that yarn and pull through that loop, just like that. Make sure to still secure that tail end so it doesn't unravel. Now we can go ahead and start our single crochets. So I'm gonna work my first single crochet. I'm gonna work it over the ring and over that tail end. And once you get more of the stitches in there, it's going to better secure that tail end. All right, and I'm gonna work another single crochet over the tail end and the ring. And I'm gonna work another one. And I'm gonna work about the first 5 single crochets over the tail end and the ring. And then after that, I'm just gonna go ahead and just crochet over the ring. And then at the end of the project, I'll just go ahead and weave that tail end back and forth to secure it. So for this first round, you are only working single crochets around the ring. I am gonna do 52 single crochet since that is enough to cover my ring, and that also it is multiples of 4. So if you need to add more or less single crochet, that is totally fine. Just make sure it is in multiples of 4. All right, so you're just going to continue crocheting around. All right, and I will go ahead and meet you guys at the end of this first round. All right, and I'm just working my last single crochet of that first round. And then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into that first single crochet of the round to secure this round. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and start with round 2. I'm gonna go ahead and chain 1, and then into that same stitch as the chain 1, single crochet. Then chain 4, then triple crochet. And what we're gonna do to do that is wrap that yarn around the hook 2 times. Now we're going to place this triple crochet into that first single crochet that was made. And it was that one that you just did before the chain 4. So we're gonna insert the hook into that first single crochet. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that is a triple crochet. Now we're going to work a double crochet. This double crochet will be placed into the middle of the triple crochet, which will be right in here. So I'm going to wrap that yarn around my hook once, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the middle of the triple crochet. Okay, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. All right, so we have the single crochet right here, the chain 4. This is the triple crochet that was placed inside the single crochet, and then we have the double crochet that is placed in the center of the triple crochet. Then we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then in that 4th stitch we're going to single crochet. Okay, and then we're going to work that same pattern that we just did in that 1st stitch. Okay, so we have our single crochet. Now we're going to chain 4. Then we're going to work a triple crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook into that single crochet. Pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then work a double crochet into the center of the triple crochet. After that, you're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to place a single crochet into that 4th stitch. And then you'll repeat that again. Chain 4. Triple crochet. Insert the hook into the single crochet. And then double crochet into the center of the triple crochet. Skip 3 stitches, then single crochet into that 4th stitch. Okay, and then repeat again. So you're just going to work this same pattern all the way around. All right, I'm going to continue working on this, and I am going to meet you guys at the end of this round. All right, I'm going to be working on my last stitches for this round. All right, and now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch right into that first single crochet of the round. This is what your wreath should look like after the end of round 2. I have a total of 13 petals around. Because I did start off with 52 single crochet. If you started out with more or less single crochet, then you will have a different amount of petals, which is totally fine. Now we can go ahead and start on round 3. Now when we start round 3, that slip stitch that we just did in the first single crochet of the round, we're going to pull up on this loop so we can go ahead and work a puff stitch. This just helps to give height. So when we work that stitch, it just makes it a lot easier. All right, so we're gonna start a puff stitch, and how we're gonna do this, we're gonna yarn over, insert the hook into that same stitch, which is that first single crochet, into that same stitch as that slip stitch. We're gonna pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, gonna yarn over, insert your hook again into that same stitch, pull up a loop. We have 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on the hook. Then go ahead and chain 3, and then work another puff stitch into that same stitch. Yarn over, insert, hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, and yarn over again. And then we have 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops on the hook. We are not chaining after this puff stitch. Now we're going to go ahead and single crochet into the chain 4 space from the previous round, which will be right here. So single crochet. All right, so now we're going to work another puff stitch into that next single crochet. And I'm going to do the chain 3, and then another puff stitch into that same stitch. All right, so puff stitch, chain 3, puff stitch, and then single crochet into that chain 4 space. And then you're just going to repeat the same pattern all the way around. So puff stitch into the next single crochet, and then you do your chain 3, and then another puff stitch into that same exact stitch. And then single crochet. So we're just going to be working the same pattern all the way around. So we're going to do puff stitch, chain 3, puff stitch into the single crochet, then single crochet into the chain 4 space, and we just keep working that all the way around. All right, so I'm going to work my puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, another puff stitch. And remember, you're not doing any chains after that second puff stitch. You just go ahead and just work that single crochet into the chain 4 space. All right, I'm just gonna continue on, and I will meet you guys at the end of round 3. I just finished my last stitch of round 3, which was the single crochet into the chain 4 space. Now I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into that first puff stitch of the round. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch again into the chain 3 space. And then chain 1. And then work a single crochet into that chain 3 space. Chain 4, triple crochet, and then place that into the single crochet. And then double crochet, placing that stitch into the middle of the triple crochet. So we're doing the same technique that we did for round 2. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and do a single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Chain 4, triple crochet into the single crochet. Double crochet into the center of the triple crochet. And then work a single crochet into the next chain 3 space. So we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So all these stitches are just worked into the chain 3 spaces. All right, so I got my single crochet, chain 4, triple crochet, and then double crochet. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and continue with these stitches, and I will meet you guys at the end of round 4. All right, so I am working my last set of stitches for this round. All right, and after that last stitch is completed, then you're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch into that first single crochet of the round. Okay, so this is what your wreath will look like at the end of round 4. And if you want to add a hanging loop, you can go ahead and do that now by just chaining, and just make it whatever size you need to be able to fit wherever you're going to hang your wreath. And then after you do all your chains, then you can just go ahead and slip stitch it back into the wreath, and then do a chain 1 to secure it, and then you can fasten off. That is optional. I'm not going to add a loop on mine, so I'm just going to fasten off now. And you can also add a string instead if you want to make a hanging loop. You don't have to do the chains if you don't want. Right, now that our wreath is done, we're going to go ahead and fasten off, and then we are going to go ahead and weave in the ends. So I already have my yarn threaded through the needle, and I'm going to go ahead and weave my ends in. This is that beginning yarn end. I'm just going to, wherever I find some space, I'm going to weave that yarn through. And I like to weave in back and forth at least 3 times, because that will secure the yarn end so it doesn't unravel. So I'll just do that a few times. And then after I'm done with this one, I'm going to go ahead and weave in the other tail end. And once those ends are weaved in, you can just go ahead and cut off the excess. Now that all the ends are weaved in, we can go ahead and add the ribbon to our wreath. And where we're going to weave it in and out is between the spaces of round 2. So I'm going to start with my ribbon going from top to bottom. And depending on what type of ribbon you're using, if it's easier to weave it in and out with a needle, you can go ahead and do that. I am just going to weave this in and out with my fingers. So I'm just going to work my way all the way around. And it doesn't have to be perfect just yet. Once everything is weaved in and out, then we can go ahead and, adjust the ribbon. All right, so let's go ahead and adjusting this. All right. I'm going to go ahead and tie the bow, which this bow can be either on the top of the wreath or the bottom, whatever you prefer. I think I'm going to have mine on top. So if you're going to have the bow on the bottom of the wreath, you can just point the bow the other way like that. All right, but I'm going to have mine on top. And then you can also, what would be really cute is to add a little bell hanging in the center of it, or, whatever other embellishments you want to add to your wreath. And yeah, so you can use this as a ornament for the tree. Another cute idea is just to, you can hang it on the doorknob or use it as wall decor. So there's many different ideas that you can use it for. But I hope you enjoyed crocheting this Christmas wreath. And so thank you for watching.